Alright, what is up everybody? Competent Gamer here, bringing you back another episode. This is going to be episode 3 to my LSPDFR installation tutorial series. Today I'm going to be covering how to install the emergency lighting system, or ELS. I'm going to be showing you how to install a Radiance mod. These particular mods help make your police lights much more brighter, much more vibrant, and it also helps make the lights reflect off of buildings much better, so your lights are going to look really realistic. And in particular, we're going to be downloading Radiance V or Radiance 5. But you're more than welcome to install your own preferred Radiance mod. The installation after actually installing the Radiance file into the game itself is the same process. So whether you want to use the same one that I do or you want to use a different one, it doesn't matter. The process is still the same. In addition to that, I'm also going to be covering how to install custom real-life police vehicles. So this is how you get, your Crown Victorias, your Dodge Chargers, your Tahoes into the game. Today we're going to be doing an LAPD style install. So we're going to be replacing the 3 LSPD vehicles. Police 1, Police 2, and Police 3. We're going to be replacing those slots with real-life police cars. And I'll show you how to do that. And on top of all of that, I'm also going to be covering 2 particular bugs that you might already have or you will experience in LSPDFR. One from a setting in ELS, and another one which is a bug which is a memory size limit bug on OpenIV and GTA 5 when you install custom vehicles. I'm going to be showing you what those bugs look like and how to fix them. So as you can see on the desktop, I already have these files installed, but don't worry, I'm going to show you how to install these. So I just want to get out of the way. First, I had I didn't make these mods. All credit goes to their respective authors, and links will be available in the description box below for all of these mods. So with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. So let's open up Google Chrome. Here we have the first mod we're going to be installing, which is ELS by Lieutenant Caine. You're going to want to scroll all the way down here to the download this file button, click on it, accept the terms of agreement, and you're going to be greeted with 2 files. One is version 1, the other one is version 1.05. You want to download this one, and that'll download your computer. I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to be doing that, but that's how you would download it. Next mod we have here is Radiance version 1.8 by BXBugs123. You're going to go down here to the download this file. Again, presented with 2 download files. You want the most recent version, 1.8. You're going to hit the download button. And then for our car packs, we have 2 ELS compatible car packs. We have the unfinished LAPD pack by Walters. Unfortunately, this car pack has been abandoned. But it still looks incredibly great. Like, these cars look insanely good. The reason why we're downloading 2 separate packs is because I dislike with a passion hubcaps on the CVPI. I don't like the way these look. And unfortunately, what I do like the Steelies, but this is only available on the slick top unit for this pack. There is no CVPI with the light bar that has the Steelies. It's only with the hubcaps. So to make up for that, I'm going to be using the Crown Victoria from this pack, which get the light bar and you get the Steelies. If you don't have an account or if you're not signed in, you're going to get a prompt here where these buttons are that says you need to sign in order to download it. So if you have an account, go ahead and sign in. If you don't have one, make one. It's very simple. And then you should be able to click on this download this file button, agree to the download terms, and you want this big file here. You don't want the template, you want the unfinished LAPD pack. So you're going to hit download and you'll get that. And then the last vehicle file is the Sedans pack. So you just want to click on download and you want to click on the 1.1 zip file. The 1.3 text file is supposed to be a link to a Ford Taurus that the mod author unfortunately was not able to upload to lspdfr.com, but when you'll find, if you do this, you'll find that the link leads to a Google Drive that no longer exists. So unfortunately, until they put that back and update the link, there is no Ford Taurus. All we have is the Charger and the Crown Victoria. So you want to get the 1.1 zip file, just download it, and that'll download right into your computer. So with all those files downloaded, go ahead into your computer and move those files into the desktop, and we can get started with the installation file. So now that we have these files here on our desktop, we're going to want to open our GTA 5 main directory. If you've been following my tutorial series, you should already have a shortcut. And here we go. So if we open up the zip file for ELS, we're greeted with three distinct folders. One is a media folder, and these are just the same photos that we saw on the LSPDFR page. There's just in-game screenshots of what ELS does. No need to go too heavy on this, they're just photos. The documentations are PDFs, which give a user guide. It also has one that shows you the controls for ELS. You can at your own time, at your own leisure, go through those and read them if you want to. I'm going to be covering I'm going to be covering the controls for ELS in game at the end of this video. And then we have the installation files, and this is what we want to install into our game. And there's no like LSPDFR folder or a plugin folder, so all of these are going to go into our main directory. But before we do that, I want to talk about a bug that occurs in LSPDFR through ELS. So some of you might have experienced this, some of you might not have. But when you're trying to perform a traffic stop or you're in a pursuit and you're running ELS, you'll notice that when you're trying to hit the siren by pressing the B button on an Xbox controller or the circle button on a PS4 controller, that occasionally the car you're pursuing or trying to run a traffic stop on will just speed up in a straight line, just like ram into whatever's in its path, and it just won't stop. The reason for that is because in the ELS INI folder, there is a setting here in general that says ELS traffic control on. By default, this is set to true, and that's what's causing that. This line of code says that if you hit something on ELS, it'll let you control the traffic. And unfortunately, it does have that side effect of that bug where you hit that button and the car will just go in a straight line. So if you want to get rid of that bug, you have to change this from true to false. And if you make that change, click on File, Save, and then you'll have a prompt here that says that the INI file was modified. Do you wish to update it? Hit yes. And that setting is stuck here in your ELS folder. So now, no matter if you if your GTA 5 folder gets corrupted and you have to uninstall everything, now when you reinstall ELS, that setting will always be there. So now that that's changed, we don't have to change anything else. We can just highlight, drag and drop into the main directory, and just replace the files that are already in here. Now for Radiance 5 is a bit more involved than than ELS, in that we have to install it through OpenIV. We can't just drag and drop these files into our main directory, and I'll show you why. So if we go here to the JPEG that's given, and that's given in this zip file, and we come down here to the installation area, it says that we need to replace the visual settings folder or file within update RPF, and that's located in GTA 5 update RPF. So let's follow that. So we're in GTA 5 update, and we can't open that. We can only open the .rpf file in OpenIV, so we can't access comment or data. We can't access that that visual settings .dat folder. We need to go through OpenIV. But before we do that, we need to remember that we're changing something here. We are changing the visual settings. We can't change things in outside of the mods folder, because if we do that, if we go into GTA Online, Rockstar is going to see that, it's going to flag you, and it's going to ban you. And also, if you try to do this through OpenIV, you're going to get that prompt that says, do this in the mods folder. So the first thing we need to do, just to circumvent that, we're going to click on Update, and we're going to copy and paste that into our mods folder. So you just want to click on Update, copy, paste it, go into your mods folder, and click Paste in here, and there it is right there. Now we can access, now we have the same thing that we had over there, but in our mods folder. And when we go through OpenIV, we can access those files. You'll also see here that I have x64 and x64e.rpf. These are also found in the main directory. These are the same. I just did the same thing. I just copy and pasted them. And the reason I did that is because certain car packs require to be placed in certain areas. So for the police packs that we have installed here, the unfinished LAPD pack and the LSPD Sedan pack, those need to get placed through x64, through certain files that are in x64. And for x64E, this is actually for another future video that I'm planning, but for now, just install that, or just copy and paste it into your mods folder. We won't be making use of that in this video, but we will soon. So going into your mods folder, copy and pasting these into your mods folder will take some time. So once you get through that, we can go into OpenIV and actually install Radiance 5. So I'll see you guys there in just a second. Okay. Now that we're in OpenIV, I can finally show you how to actually navigate OpenIV. So if we click on this JPEG file that was provided with the Radiance 5 zip file, and we look here at the installation location pathway, we need to go to GTA 5, update RPF, common, and data. So here we have GTA 5, update RPF, let's see, common, and data. And here you'll see the visual settings.data folder that we want to replace. So in order to replace them, this is the file. So if we go to visual settings, that was given in the Radiance 5 zip file. We have two options, bright and very bright. I personally use bright. I think very bright is too much. It's very blinding. So just go with bright. And here we have two options. We have the bright visual settings.data folder or file, which just gives you the brighter lights, or you have the other option that gives you the amber parking lights. And what this does, it'll give you that amber parking light. And these are just a really nice like touch for the vehicles, that even when the vehicle is turned off, the headlights are off, those amber parking lights will stay illuminated. And I think that's just a small detail that really makes some cars look really, really good. So if you go all the way back to visual settings, bright, I'm going to be using the amber parking lights. If you don't want that, you can just use this data file. I'm going to be using the amber parking lights one. And in order to edit this, we just need to drag and drop into OpenIV. But you'll notice that we're getting a prompt that says we can't do anything. I can just drag it and drop it. I can click Control and paste, but nothing's going to happen until we hit edit mode. This ensures that we only change files when we want to. So if we click on that, it says, warning, you are in edit mode. And it's going to let you know, like, hey, you're in edit mode. Be very careful, because if you make one slip up, you're going to ruin something. So we are absolutely 100% sure that we want to edit something. So we're going to click on yes. And you'll notice right here that you're going to get a notification from OpenIV that says you're not in the mods folder. Again, you don't want to change files outside of the mods folder because you don't want to get flagged by Rockstar if you decide to go into GTA Online. So you can do this one of two ways. You can either click on the Show in Mods folder, which if we look here, it says GTA 5 update. If we click on mods folder, it'll automatically place us into the mods folder and we maintain the same pathway. Or if we go back to GTA 5, we can just click on the mods folder to begin with, and we can just follow the same pathing, and we'll eventually end up where we want to end up. So now that we're in edit mode in the mods folder, we can now take this visual settings.dat and place it, and it's been changed. If you want to go back in the video and just take a look at that, you will notice that this has changed. So with that, Radiance 5 has been installed. So now that those two are in there, let's install some ELS compatible vehicles. So let's open up the unfinished pack by Walters. And let's see. First thing we have here, we have a couple files here. We have the vehicle files and we have the ELS files. But before we do anything, let's look at the README text. So this is the LAPD pack. These are the vehicle slots and the vehicle the types that you're going to get. So for the Police 3, it's set as the 2016 Ford Explorer. And this is just some install locations, that this is where the mod author wants us to install these particular files. Now, one key thing that I want to make note of is how, I guess, customizable vehicle files can be. So you'll notice here that, actually, hold on, let me see something. Let's exit out this real quick. So in the README file, it says that Police 3 is set as the 2016 Ford Explorer. So let's just take a look at that real quick. So it wants us to put those vehicle files into this pathway. So let's follow that. Click on GTA. So we're going to want to follow into the mods folder. update x64, and this is why I had you copy that into your mods folder, because car packs need the x64 file. So x64 DLC packs. It says patch day 18NG or later. I like doing the most recent patch day just because it keeps all my vehicle files in one location, and instead of like putting them wherever the mod author tells you to put them, it's easier to track. We're gonna put in patch day 23, DLC RPF x64 levels, GTA 5, and vehicles.rpf. So if we click on the vehicle files and we look at and we want to install the Ford Explorer, that's going to be Police 3. So all we need is these three files: the Police 3, high YFT, YTD, and YFT. Also, don't forget, you got to be in edit mode first. And we're going to push, drag and drop those in there, and you'll see we have these are the fragment objects. So these are the actual models themselves. And the texture dictionary is the texture that goes over them. So if we look at the YFT, and this is what I mean by how customizable vehicle files can be. So you'll notice here that the default setting, Police 3, was the Ford Explorer. However, I don't want my Explorer in the Police 3 slot. I want it in the Police 1 slot. So what you can do is you can literally just change the name of these files to fit the police slot you want. So the Ford Crown Victoria was originally set as Police 1, but I changed it to Police 3 because I wanted to replace this vehicle and not that vehicle. The easiest way to think about it is, which vehicle do I have and which do I want it to replace? The slot that you want to replace is the slot that it's named after, and you can look this up online. Every vehicle file has, I'll probably just show it on the screen, but every vehicle in GTA 5 has a particular slot name, and based on which vehicle file you want to replace that's what you would name it. But you would name it before the like the underscore high .yft or before the .ytd, and that's how you would do that. So with that installed, we can also install the other vehicles. Since I already have these set, you will have these vehicles as the default setting. So your Police 3 will be the 2016 Ford Explorer, but for me, because I've already made this change ages ago, because I've been using this pack for a while now, it's already the Crown Victoria. So I'm just going to take all of those files, just exit out of there, and drag and drop. And there we go. Let me just make sure I didn't do anything different. Yes, okay. Now that we have the vehicle files installed, let's install the ELS files. So let's exit out of edit mode so we don't accidentally change anything. And let's go to GTA 5. Now it's for ELS files, if we look at this at the README, ELS files are installed in ELS and pack default. ELS can be found in the root directory. So once we go to GTA 5, we click on ELS and pack default. You already see that there's one already in here for police, but we're going to replace that later. And we go on the ELS files. We have XML files, and these are the light files that dictate what particular lights are turned on in what sequence. It's a bit complicated, but all you need to know in order to get this in there is just you need to maintain the right file. So you can't just change things like what you can't just change things however you want to. You need to keep the same files for each vehicle the same. So we're just gonna click on edit mode, hit yes, and we're going to drag and drop these files in there and replace them. And with that, those vehicles have been successfully installed, but we still need to install the car variations meta and the vehicles.meta file. So let's just follow those pathing. So let's click here, and here we have the vehicle meta and the car variations meta. So let's go back here and let's see the pathing. The pathing is update. So for the car variations, we're going to click on mods. We're going to click on update x64 DLC packs. And this one for car variations and vehicle meta, or sorry, for car variations, you do want to follow the actual thing it says. So for here, I it says patch 18 or later, so I chose 23. For this one, you need to do MP Valentine's 2. So let's click on that one. DLC common data, and there's the car variations file that we want to change. So click on edit. I'm just gonna drag and drop, and there we go. Now for the vehicle meta file, let's go back to the mods folder. Need to click on update RPF, common data, levels, and GTA 5, and there's the vehicle.meta file. So let's just click on edit mode, we're already there, and just drag and drop. And that should be installed. Those have been completely installed. So I actually just realized that I had installed the CVPI from the Walter pack, which I don't want. So this can be a teaching moment for like how to update or how to change out your vehicles. So at the moment, so if we go back to that pack there, go back to where we installed our vehicle files. If we look at the vehicle for Police 3, you'll notice that it's the CVPI with the hubcaps that I hate with a passion. So if we instead want to replace that one with something else, and we open up the LSPD Sedans pack, here we are great with a lot of different things. We got some vehicle files, we got our ELS files. We have our car variations meta file. So let's just start with the vehicle file. We want to get the we want to use the CVPI, the Crown Vic, with the Steely, and we already have it as Police 3. So we're just going to take all of these files, click on Edit Mode, and drag and drop. And then to change out the ELS file, I'm gonna go all the way back to the GTA 5 to the root directory. Click on ELS, pack default, and if we go in here to the VCF files, we have the ELS for Police 3. Just gonna drag and drop and replace that. Now let's also include our car variations file. If we read this, it says it needs to be installed at this particular pathing, which is the exact same pathing for when we changed the car variations file for the other pack. So if we just follow that here, let's see, mods, update, x64, DLC, MP Valentine's 2, where are you? DLC RPF, common, and data. We can just replace this car variations.meta file. And there we go. Alright everybody, with that out of the way, we have successfully installed the 3 vehicles that we wanted from the 2 packs. We installed the Ford Explorer and the Dodge Charger from the unfinished LAPD pack, and we installed the Crown Vic from the LSPD Sedans pack. So if we close out of OpenIV and open up GTA 5. Alright everybody, now that we are in game, we're running LSPDFR, we're in Sandy Shores right now by Grapeseed. We can test to see that our models have in fact been added to the game if we just open up the simple trainer and spawn in some vehicles. So we replaced the LSPD units, not the Sandy Shores units, so they will be the exact same cars as they are in the default game. But if we open up Police 1, here we have the Police Cruiser, the Ford Explorer, we have this Dodge Charger, and the CVPI. So the way we use ELS, let me hop into this car just for explanation purposes, just because I'm going to be explaining some things with this car later. The way, oh, there goes one of the default cars over there for the sheriff units. So the way you run ELS, I'm going to be showing you how to use the controls for on the controller. I'm running DS4 Windows, so I'm using a PlayStation controller, but the controls are exactly the same as they are for the Xbox controller. So to cycle through your light patterns, you just hit left on the D-pad. There's stage 1, 2, and there's stage 3. Now when you're in stage 1 or 2, in order to turn on the siren, you press down on the D-pad, but this won't work for stages 1 and 2. You can only activate the siren when you're in stage 3. Now when you have your siren running, you press circle or the B button on your controller to cycle through your siren tones. In addition to that, you also have access to a secondary siren by pressing up on the D-pad when your siren is active. So this allows you to have the main siren on, and it also allows you to cycle through the siren. By pressing right on the D-pad, you have access to your bright lights, which let you shine a really bright light on the person you're pulling over. And then the very last thing is, you see here that we have our headlights and our tail lights on. In order to go into blackout mode, you just press X or A, the A button, and that'll let you go into blackout mode. So another function for ELS on the keyboard is to press the scroll lock button. You'll see the little warning there at the bottom right corner of the screen that scroll lock is active. This allows you to regain control of other functionalities by kind of locking out the ELS I guess button. So like I can press right here the buttons to turn on my headlights for ELS, it won't work. I'm trying to turn on my siren, it won't work until I take off scroll lock. And now you'll also see that if we turn on scroll lock while our lights are active, we can hit other buttons and nothing will change. So this allows us to access the computer to run somebody's name on the database without messing with our lights and sirens. One issue that you will run into when bringing in cars, occasionally this is an issue that mostly happens with big cars such as the Ford Explorer, is that you'll notice that if you replace a small vehicle like a sedan with a really big SUV, occasionally when you're going really fast and you try to take a turn, the car will just flip out of control. So, and that is an issue that can be easily fixed through changing the handling line for each vehicle in OpenIV. So the way you do that is every vehicle, the handling ID basically says how the car will handle. So if you have a big SUV like the Ford Explorer, you don't want it to handle like a really small car like the Panto or a sedan. You want it to act like one of the SUVs in games, so like a Granger. And the same thing works for every other vehicle that you install. You want to match the handling IDs in the vehicle meta file so that it matches the car that it's best suited for. Another issue that you'll encounter when replacing vehicles would be texture loss. Now here I'm in the county. I'm not encountering any texture losses, but I'll put in some photos up there so you can see what that looks like. And you'll notice that when you have, and this issue really only occurs when you have really high quality vehicles, like car textures that are like 4K, 8K, really high quality. That issue actually stems from a memory size limit. So in OpenIV, car slots can only handle up to 25 megabytes of data, meaning that your fragment options, your fragment objects, and your texture dictionaries, they can add up to 25 megabytes or less. They cannot be higher than that, because once they're higher than that, you'll start to encounter some texture losses. So if you see that your world is falling apart, you need to go into the photo editor, take out those files. And shrink them down to a better size so that the file sizes altogether would add up to less than 25 megabits. And I'll show you how to do that in OpenIV in a sec. So now that we're back in OpenIV, if you're having texture loss issues, this is one area where you can look to fix that problem. So you'll notice here, this is where we installed our vehicle file. So this is where our fragment objects are. This is where the actual model itself is located. And this is where the textures for the vehicle are located. So without this, we wouldn't have the LAPD skin, we wouldn't have window textures, we wouldn't have dirt textures. So this is where this stuff is located. And the way you can tell, you can actually troubleshoot this even before you go into the game, before you even have the problem to begin with, by looking at the size of the files for each police slot. So like as I mentioned before, every slot can only handle up to 25 megabytes or 25,000 kilobytes of data. So if we add up all of the file sizes for the police slot, here, police 1 YFT, police 1 high.yft, and the police YTD, if we add up the 10,079 kilobytes, 4,604 kilobytes, and the 7,666 kilobytes, that'll add up to 21,749 kilobytes of data. So we are underneath. We are 4,000, or we are 4 megabytes underneath the 25 megabyte limit. So we're fine. That's why I'm not experiencing any texture losses. But if yours were above 25,000, you would experience those texture loss issues. And the best way to fix that is to reduce the size or the quality of the texture of the skin textures in your texture dictionary. So if you click on the YTD file, that'll bring you here, and this is where all the textures for the vehicle can be located. So we've got some some badges there. We got let's see, some emissions. We got some dirt particles, some rim textures, and we go here to the FPIU sign. This is the actual texture for the vehicle. So you have the city of Los Angeles. This is like what's actually like the skin of the car, and we have three versions. This is how we can get different cars that are slightly different. They'll all look the same, but you'll notice here that the numbers will be different, and that's dictated in the car variations .meta file. But that's neither here nor there. So the way you would do this, you'll notice here that these skin textures are 4096 pixels by 4096 pixels. That is a 4K skin texture. Now I'm fortunate that everything else is low enough that when I add up all of these file sizes, that I'm below the 25 megabyte limit. But if you were, let's say, at 26 or 27 megabytes or 27,000 kilobytes, and you have skin textures here that are 4K, you're gonna want to reduce those. And the way you can do that is you just take you click on the texture file that you want, click on export, and that'll let you bring it to wherever you want. So I'm gonna bring it to the desktop, and let's see, where did it go? There it is right here, FPIU sign.dds. The texture file that I took out was a .dds file, so I'm just going to convert it to a PNG in order to use it in the Photos app. So we're just going to click on FPIU sign 1, convert it to a PNG, and hit convert. This is just a DDS to PNG converter. You can just look this up online, and there's like several thousand of them, so just pick whichever one you want. Just pick the first one. Bring in the file if it's a DDS, and then convert it to a PNG, and we can open this now in the Photos app, and that's where we can shrink it to a lesser texture. And now if we go here to the search bar and click on Photos, there's the PNG file for the FPIU signed texture. So if we click on that and right click it, we have the option here to resize it, and we want it, it'll give us if we want to make it to a small, medium, or large, we want to use define the custom dimensions, and we have it here at 4K textures. We're going to reduce this to 2K textures by changing it from 4096 to 2048. So now if we compare the texture sizes for both the original one that we exported from OpenIV and the one we just changed in the Photos app, we right click here and go on properties and go to details, we see here that this is a 4K texture. And if we do the same thing for the one we just changed, it's 2K. So this is the one we want to insert. So the way we do that, we want to change the name to the name of the texture here. So we're going to do FPIU underscore sign underscore 1.png, and we're just going to drag and drop here. Obviously, well, it's not going to let us do it because we're not in edit mode in OpenIV. So let's go here, close out of the texture dictionary, hit edit mode, then reopen the texture dictionary, scroll all the way back down to the FPIU sign. We see here this is the 4K texture, and now keep an eye on the texture size here. So right now we're at 7,696 kilobytes, and if we change this one and hit yes, the FPIU sign is now 2048 by 2048. So now this is now a 2K texture, and if we hit save, It's gonna take a minute. It might say that it's not responding, but it'll be good. And now we went down from 7,066 to 6,898. Now, not a big chunk, but it's enough. And if we just keep making small, like chunks like that, if you keep taking little by little down, I mean, we turned it in from a 4K to a 2K texture. We could make that to a 1920 by 1080 texture, and it'll still look fine in game. But doing small changes like that will help you, bring down your texture dictionary size and will help you stay below that 25 megabyte limit. Now, granted, for me, I was never in danger of that, so I'm going to reopen that texture dictionary. I'm going to delete this PNG, and I'm going to throw that back in there. Where is it? There we go, and we just changed that. So now we hit save. It's going to take a minute again. But now we brought back our 4K texture, and we are below that 25 megabyte limit. And that's how you would fix your texture loss issue. Alright everybody, and with that out of the way, thank you so much for bearing with this episode. I know it was a really long one and a very knowledge heavy one. I could have split this up into 2 videos, but I wanted to cover all of this since I feel like this all, ELS, Radiance mods, and vehicle files kind of all work together in the same realm, in that they all work together. If you're using ELS compatible vehicles, you kind of need to know how to use ELS, and if there are some issues that come in vehicles, so you kind of need to know how to address them. So I know this was a very long video, but if you want to, just keep rewatching, go back and just try to absorb it as much, because it's all of the knowledge in in one video. You don't have to bounce around between 2 or 3 videos to get the answer for one thing. It's all in one area. So now it was a lot to go through, but now you should be able to install whatever car pack you want, using ELS, and it'll all work the exact same way. So if you get another car pack that you really like, but you're starting to experience texture loss, you know how to fix it. If you replace a car in a specific slot that you really like, but it's the handling line is really off, you know how to fix that. And hopefully, I do hope that this has helped you. So if you have any questions, comment down below, and I'll try to get to you as quickly as I can and help you troubleshoot your issues. So if you liked the video, drop a like. If you're new, please subscribe, and if you want to, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. I just finished my semester of college, so once the next week is over, I'll be completely free to upload videos on a much more consistent schedule. I have some pre-recorded LSPDFR like patrol series videos that I haven't uploaded yet, that I'm I'm in the process of finishing editing those so I can upload those, but you'll be seeing that content very, very soon. So once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and bye bye.